My name is H.A. Goodman. I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read all my writing, go to counterpropa.com, support the site through the Amazon links and donate button. Share the petition below to get the DNC to give its computer servers to the FBI. Share my latest Counterpropa article, Trump Could Start World War III with Another Syria Airstrike. I explain the title and exactly why it's possible within the Counterpropa article and within the Huffington Post. The Huffington Post also published my latest Counterpropa article. Please share both links. If you think it's hyperbole, read the article. The Washington Post, of all publications, is now turning on Susan Rice. What does this tell you about Trump's flirtation with the apocalypse and provoking a conflict with Russia? There are over 4,000 Russian soldiers on the ground in Syria. They've conducted twice as many airstrikes as we have. Do you think they would stop at nothing? Don't you think they would stop at nothing to keep Assad there? Of course they would. It's directly tied to their national interest. Aside from Syria, Iran is the only ally they have in the Middle East, the only true ally. We're just in Syria, not for the humanitarian reasons I explained in the article. The UN and Russia gave peace deals to the U.S. or presented peace deals that would have saved the lives of hundreds of thousands and prevented millions and millions from leaving that country. But Clinton and Obama wanted regime change at all costs. So they didn't even look at the peace deals. It was not... Saving lives had nothing to do with the equation. If humanitarian reasons brought us to draw a red line once again or enforce the red line, there would never have been a need for a red line were it not for the U.S. completely ignoring any possibility at peace or even trying to negotiate for peace in 2012 when they could have. Russia brought a deal. The UN brought a deal. Clinton and Obama chose absolute mayhem and destruction. And now we have the current state of affairs. But Susan Rice's track record is taking a beating. Why did I go on that tangent? Because Trump's approval ratings are up. The media, even the media that did everything possible to undermine his presidency up until this point, is now slowly turning towards Trump. That is actually a bad thing because he got elected by giving the media the middle finger. And he's actually playing the game they want. So Hillary Clinton's neoconservatives, they're calling the shots now. Now, not only did Trump not lock up Hillary, but he's actually abiding by Hillary Clinton's foreign policy. And now today we hear Tillerson talking about America being the world's police. This is something that unites both right and left. The United States has no business in over 130 countries, conducting military missions in 130 nations, over 130 nations. We have special forces in over 130 nations. We are now, after Iraq, Afghanistan, in Yemen, still in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now Syria. But let me get to Susan Rice finally. Susan Rice's track record takes a beating. That's the first article. Then Susan Rice's claim that Obama got Syria to verifiably give up its chemical stockpile. Okay, that was 4 Pinocchios. So they called Susan Rice out on Obama's claim that he took care of the weapons. Then they're calling Susan Rice out on her track record. Susan Rice is not the story here. I know I've spoken a great deal, but I've always tried to say in segments prior to this one, she's not the story. The story is President Obama. It's Obama that spied. It's Obama who spied on Trump. He called the shots. He's the boss. Susan Rice was in charge of foreign policy. President Obama had the incentive to spy on Trump because Hillary Clinton spent $1.2 billion. Now the media is turning on Susan Rice, just like the media initially turned on Susan Rice after Benghazi. She took the fall for Benghazi. She's not taking the fall for Obama spying on Trump with Rice's unmasking of names. After the Syria intervention, you're seeing a whole new dynamic now in terms of the media and Trump. It actually hurts Trump's chances for a re-election, because once you start playing the game that Clinton and the neocons and the mainstream media love, which is let's go ahead and topple a dictator and then do everything possible to occupy and then bring democracy, it never works out. But once you start playing that game, you lose the whole America first, I'm not going to let anyone bully me attitude. Trump is losing what got him elected, which, as you know, I voted for Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders. If he doesn't get reelected, I'm fine with that. But I certainly don't want an escalation that could lead to World War III. And I don't want Hillary Clinton's neoconservatives to run the show. They've done enough damage to humanity. They don't need to be running the show through Trump. Trump was supposed to be a foil to these people, and now he's abiding by everything that they stand for. Give me your thoughts below. This all ties into Susan Rice was a media hero on the left, and now they're turning on her because Trump is abiding by their regime change wishes. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.